Oh yeah.
Um, I'm sorry, I'm looking.
It's okay. I know
Okay,
you have other tasks like getting that phone hooked up, so don't worry about it.
okay, okay.
Oh yeah. Oops, there we go.
Um,
Great. And so many tabs open. Um, okay, I'm gonna start recording. Here we go. Tell us where you're coming from, everybody. Um, I will say that again in the chat. And I will share my screen as we get started. Um, and say, welcome. It's Friday night, at least where I am, it's Friday night. Where some of you are, it's like Friday late afternoon. Where some of you are, I know it's Saturday morning. That's crazy. I know where some of you are, it's very, very, very late Friday night, maybe Saturday morning. I don't know. Anyway, we get a lot of people from all sorts of time zones, and welcome wherever you are. It's another Friday night workshop. Welcome. You're at the Sequential Artists Workshop. We're a nonprofit. We're a 501c3 nonprofit. We have lots of courses and ways that you can get better at comics and find community with comics. We're at learn.sawcomics.org. That's where you can find us online. We have lots of courses right now. Next one coming up is Print Ready Comics, working in Procreate and Affinity Publisher with Donna Dracunis. And next week in this slot, the day after Thanksgiving, we are having Anna Selheim doing Making Comics About Kids. And that's what we'll have for Friday. There's Donna's comic course. You can find it at learn.sawcomics.org. Thanks to everybody who donated to tonight's workshop or any other time. It helps Saw survive, frankly. It helps these workshops stay free. It helps us pay the instructors. And it helps us support lots of people with scholarships and and help through our programs. So thank you to anyone who donated. There's lots of ways to support us. You can even buy a t-shirt designed by Emma. This would make a great comic. I love that shirt. Anyway, you can also become a sustaining member, and there's ways to do that. I'll put it in the chat. And it's also at the website. So please, no inappropriate speech or imagery. Keep things at PG-13 tonight. No trolling or hate speech, of course. So thank you. And share what you do tonight on social media. Hashtag Friday Night Comics. At Comics Workshop is our hashtag. I think ET is let me be double clear, but I'll put that in the chat as well. And you can share what you do at our member site too, which is free. It's members.sawcomics.org. And it's super fun to share what you've done in any of those spots, and we love to see it. So enjoy. Here's ET Russian's website and Instagram. I'm going to stop sharing if I can find it. There we go. ET, I am going to spotlight you, so watch out. People get really anxious when that happens. There we go. So welcome. I'm so glad we finally got a chance to meet and connect. We have so many mutual friends and we've never we've never met. So it's really nice for you to come here. And I'm sorry you had to work a 10-hour shift and then do a workshop, but hopefully it's all good.
can you hear me okay?
Totally. Yeah.
Okay. So I can't see everybody that's in the group, but I know some of my friends and family are here. So I just want to shout out, hi guys. This is so nice. I'm really honored to be here. Really excited. My name is E.T. Russian, and I'll introduce myself and take us through what the workshop is going to be. It's like about 40 minutes of drawing, and then people can share. But what I wanted to say first is just what supplies you kind of want to get together while we're at the beginning here. So you'll probably want 2 or 3 pieces of paper or whatever you're going to draw on, have multiple of it. And then you might want a pair of scissors and a piece of paper, which is a little bit of a sneak preview of what's going to happen later in the workshop. So this is a comic surgery workshop. So we're going to do surgery on our comics. So you might want to grab that stuff now because this is kind of a good time while we're just kind of doing intros and maybe some other people might be arriving. And then whatever materials you want to use to make your comic. So like I have a pencil and some pens and some colored pencils and markers, and I have some whiteout But you can use anything you've got. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It could be ketchup and mustard, doesn't matter. Um, so so that's that. And then so my name is ET. My pronoun is they. Um, I'm here on Lenape land, the ancestral lands of the Lenape people who are still here in Brooklyn area, New York. But I'm also a West Coast person from Seattle in the Pacific Northwest. So I'm now becoming bi-coastal, and that's why it's so exciting to connect with Tom and Saw. I've attended some of these workshops when I was living on the West Coast, so it feels nice that this is the people here today are from all around the country. So I've been a cartoonist for a really long time. I'm 45 now. I started doing zines in the 90s when I was 13 and kept doing them through high school. And then when I was 18, I became a double leg amputee because I was in a really major accident and I had to go through a lot of medical stuff. And that was my awakening into disability culture and the disability experience. I'm also queer and trans and a healthcare provider and a lot of other things. So I'm just going to give a few examples of my work kind of spanning the decades, and it's just going to be really quick. But this book, the Ring of Fire anthology, is like 20 years of my zines and comics. It was published in 2014. And so like this is an early drawing I made kind of promoting fake legs. Like, so it says fake is fabulous, and it's someone putting on their fake legs, their artificial legs. And then this was a comic I did in like 1998 about riding my bike around San Francisco with a disability and kind of having some anxiety and mental health stuff around that.
Oh.
And then there's a lot of other stuff in here. I'm showing the kid-friendly stuff because this has a lot of erotic content in it. And then this is a comic I did later, and it was one of the first comics I really, really loved. That's about swimming at the pool. And this is one of my favorite places in Seattle. It's an outdoor saltwater pool. So also I do a lot of comics about nature, and a lot of them feature the nature of the Pacific Northwest. So this is still themes that are really near and dear to me, even though I did this like 20 years ago. A recent comic I did at the beginning of the pandemic is this one. This is when I have started working with some color. The canal was cut. So this is about the Lake Washington Ship Canal in Seattle, and how it's beautiful and also kind of has a bad history, like in terms of the ecology and the land. And so it's kind of got poem fragments in it. And this is a great example of my comic style. And this was printed in risograph. So if you have questions about that, you can message me after. But that's that. And then this is my most recent comic. So this is erotic, but it's not graphic. So I'll just kind of cover. But this comic I just came out with this month, it's called Ruined, and it's erotic drawings of broken sculptures. So trying to find something that's not too graphic. Yeah, like this. So yeah, so I had a lot of fun with that. So those are some of my recent comics. But so today's theme was inspired by the new moon, which was this week, and just the idea of letting go of some things and embracing other things. And the reason I picked this theme, goodbye, hello, is because goodbyes are really hard for me. I tend to if I love something, I tend to want to hold on to it and not let it go. And then, but the practice of letting things go has been really good for me because I am reminded that when I say even if I lose one thing, I often gain another thing that I didn't expect. And it really does happen over and over. And so I have had a comic in my mind, especially during the pandemic, called Goodbye Hello. So this is maybe me workshopping a comic that I've been kind of rock tumbling in my head. So that's kind of the concept behind this. So we're going to make a 4-panel comic. And for any of you who had never made a comic before, I think a lot of people here are cartoonists. What did you say? Are you telling me something, Tom?
No, I'm summarizing what you say. Sometimes people miss it or need to catch up. And so I said that maybe you're doing a comic that's been rock tumbling in your head. I'm trying to
Yes.
use your own words.
Yes. So not everyone here is a cartoonist. So and I think we have all ages group tonight. So I'm trying to just shout this toward everybody. So you can basically have, if you want this structure, great. If you want to do your own thing and get way more experimental, that's absolutely great. But very basically, you could take a piece of paper and you could either draw 4 squares, or if you don't feel confident about drawing squares, you could just fold the paper, in half, and then in half again, and then open it back up, and there are your squares, okay? So you're going to do 4 squares, and basically, this is how the comic is going to go. The first one is going to be a goodbye that you had in the past, and then follow that up by a hello you had after that was related. So let me give an example. Like I'll go through my house and clean out a bunch of clothes I don't wear anymore. Like it's not my style anymore, or it's not the gender that I am feeling at the moment. So I'll take those clothes to Goodwill, but then I have like more room in my closet. So I'll either get like new clothes, or I'll have more room in my house, and then I'll get like more house plants or something like that. So that's what we're going to do now, is do a panel that's a goodbye from the past, and then a hello kind of related to it. That's also kind of from the past, because then after that, we're going to do a goodbye that's a recent goodbye, like from this week. I'm going to have you pick something. These could be small things. Other examples are like, if a business you really liked, like an ice cream place or something, closed during the pandemic, but something else opened there and you actually like it. That's another example. Or like yeah. Another example I'll give, and this is the one I'm going to draw for this week, is that I found out that a friend of mine passed away. She was in her 70s, and she was my wheelchair dance mentor. Her name is Charlene Curtis. And for anybody who wants, I can send you a video of her dance. It was really beautiful choreography in her wheelchair. And so that's a goodbye. But then the hello is that it put me back in contact with her co-choreographer, Joanne, who I love her dancing, and she wants to collaborate with me and dance in a new piece. So it's sad to say goodbye to Char, but I'm saying hello to dancing again with someone I haven't danced with in a long time. So that feels really good. So it's both a goodbye and a hello. So that's the prompt. And you're going to have, I'll give you maybe 5 minutes with each square. Okay. So you can start by doing it in pencil and then go over it in pen if you want, or you can go right in with colored pencil and markers. Let me know if any of you feel like you need more direction than this.
I have one question, and that is, do you think we should know the connection between the goodbye and the hello before we start, or should we just put any goodbye down that sort of comes to mind, and then hope that we can find a hello afterwards? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's okay if you don't know what the hello is after.
Okay.
If you know what the goodbye is, you can put that down first, and then give yourself a minute or two, and don't overthink it. This is a short workshop. It could be something really small, like you said hello to the sunrise.
Mm-hmm.
or something like that. Yeah. I see a hand up.
Lily, go ahead and put it in the chat if you don't mind. And we'll an old, and this is an older goodbye
Yeah, so this is a goodbye. The first square is a goodbye from the past.
in the past. Five minutes per panel. Panel two is a hello. Soon after. First goodbye. So what are you going to draw, E.T.?
I don't know. I thought I was going to do the cleaning out my closet thing, but I actually think I'm going to draw the first dog that we had. And we always said she was like my older sister, Trixie. After she died, then we became a cat family. And we got a cat. And I didn't even know I liked cats until after Trixie died. So I think I'm going to do that. Yeah.
You were a kid then? I'm writing this in the chat. You
Yeah.
were
Yeah. When I was born, Trixie was like, our dog was like my older sister, and she would protect my crib.
oh,
And she died when I was about 13. And then after that, we got a cat.
cool. Okay. So it's 17 minutes after.
Yeah. So you have a couple more minutes. I'm just going right in with black ink, but it's okay if you do pencil.
And it's like a sneak that you got us using scissors. Like, what is that going to be about?
No spoilers, Tom.
I don't even know. I'm really curious.
If you finish early, I need to clock out of work actually. If you finish early, you could start coloring your comic or doing, maybe if you are a cartoonist, you could use the moment to kind of just work with a different material you normally work with, or work with color in a different way, shading in a different way, just to experiment.
But we're only working on panel 1 and 2 right now, right?
Yeah, actually, you just have a couple more minutes for panel 1, and then I was going to move to panel 2.
Gotcha.
Okay, yeah, let's move on. Start moving on to your second panel. So it's okay if you need a minute to kind of think about what you're going to do. You know, you're drawing something you're saying goodbye to, and then thinking just about something that came after that goodbye that was a new thing or a hello that maybe you didn't expect. Even it could be so small. Like you said hello to taking a walk after something happened, or you spilled one drink and then you had to grab another drink afterward or something like that. Okay, another minute or so for that second panel. If you add words to it, great. If it's just a picture, no problem. It doesn't have to have words. It's kind of whatever combination of picture and words you want.
This is fun. I've never thought in this paradigm before, about a goodbye leading to a hello or a hello, or just thinking about the pot. I guess there could be negative hellos too, right? It could be like, oh, hello, something terrible. um, but right now,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. I think I think because this is goodbyes are hard for me, I'm trying to not like make the goodbye, I don't know. It's like the goodbye still gets to be sad, but I just think sometimes there is a hello afterward that I really didn't expect that I do appreciate. And it doesn't gloss over that the goodbye was whatever the goodbye was, but yeah. Yeah, I put the order of goodbye first and then hello on purpose.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I would say start wrapping up that second panel. And I think I'm going to save sharing till the end because I want to get through the comic surgery part too.
Great.
Okay, so, but I'll share, maybe I'll just share what I did so far just to give us some example. So, I mean, this is just so basic. This is just a workshop. It doesn't have to be a work of art. Okay, so Trixie used to guard my crib when I was a baby and like grr at like people who would come too close. And she was like, that's what made her my older sister. So anyway, also she was a mutt and I love the name Trixie. So Trixie died when I was 13. Okay. And then this has really cracked me up because I feel like my dad ended up looking like Ned Flanders from The Simpsons, but he really did have a mustache and like big glasses. And when we got a cat, he would like be on the floor and the cat, my dad was always reading a book and then like falling asleep. And then the cat would like be on him. And then this is like a couch that he built when we were kids because he's a woodworker. This is my sister with a bowl cut because we all had the Dorothy Hamill cut. And so that really cracked me up. And then this is like me as like a older kid, but we're all like reading and hanging out in the living room together with the cat on dad. So
Awesome.
yeah, and then it says after that we became a cat family. Um so that's like one example. So now we're going to move into doing the final two squares. So you're going to do a goodbye, pick something from this week. Pick a goodbye from this week, and then you're going to do a hello after that, also from this week, that are related to each other in some way. So you're going to have several minutes for each. Go ahead and start with the first one. Start with the goodbye from this week.
Okay. Hmm.
If you finish early, you're wondering what else should I do with that extra time? You could work on the facial expressions of the characters in your story. Maybe, does the face show the emotion or the moment, the mood that you're hoping to impart? Is there something you could do with that? Another thing is just thinking more about the body language of the person. Did you draw the body in a way that shows movement or that shows maybe the mood that they're in? Or just, like I said before, adding color is another thing you could do with your extra time. So go ahead and start transitioning into working on your last panel. So a hello in the last week that's related to the goodbye from this last week. Okay, I'm going to give you one more minute to kind of wrap up. Okay. Okay, so we're going to transition into the comic surgery part. And I call this comic surgery because I've had a lot of surgeries. And I'm also trying to reclaim surgery because I hate surgery. But this is so I'll tell you the concept and I'll tell you why this is a comic surgery workshop. So the concept is that you pick okay, so I have 4 panels now. I'll just show you mine since it might be distracting to show it without mentioning it. So I don't really like how this came out, but anyway, so it's Shar dancing, my dance mentor, and then it says Shar became an ancestor this week. So this is Shar and this is Joe. And then there's like 2 telephones sort of connecting and people dancing on them. And it says, her passing put me back in touch with Joe who wants to dance again. So yeah, so that's that. Okay. The surgery part is where you take a page, you pick the page that maybe you like the least or have the hardest time with, or it just didn't come out the way you wanted it. And you're going to cut it, either cut it up or cut it out and change it and then put it back in the comic.
Wow. All right.
And the reason why this structure I've done a number of times for workshops, and I think it's because a lot of us get really attached to the things that we make, and this is a practice in editing our work. So just limit yourself to just one panel. And if you don't want to use scissors, you could also use whiteout. I think whiteout is I use whiteout all the time in my comics. So you could like white it out, or you can just cut it out with scissors, or however you kind of want to do it. Or if you had done it in pencil, you could just erase, but only limit yourself to one panel. Don't get too critical about the whole thing. This is just a practice in editing.
How long do we have for this part? 5 minutes?
Yeah, I was thinking 5 minutes.
Okay.
Instead of using scissors, I'm using whiteout.
So can we cut out that Jackie is asking in the chat? Can we cut out what we don't like, then redraw it on another piece of paper and paste it back in?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Maybe give it another minute. And people are going to end up sharing. So think about if you want to share. And then while they're sharing, you can also keep working on your comic, coloring it or embellishing it, refining it. But try to find a stopping place, in the next minute.
My scissors. Fine. ET, can I coax you into trying to find that Zoom hand again? I know it's got to be.
Yeah. Oh, raise hand. Okay.
Hey, great. Okay. And if for some reason Zoom says, you look like you're finished, do you want to lower your hand? Don't let it. I swear it will do that.
Oh,
It's got some sort of
it
new.
did, and I canceled it.
Good. I think we're good.
Okay. Well, I'm curious, anybody who wants to show what they made and maybe say what their one goodbye and one hello was and show us?
I'm sure we'll get some people who want to share. So now is a great time. If anyone wants to um, share, if people are too shy at the moment, people are usually not shy. So this is very funny. I'll share mine. Oh, Judith is up. Okay. I'm still working
Yay.
on sticker paper. Oh, now people are coming. Wait, I'll I'll get to y'all in a second once I get the sticker paper to. Oh no. Yeah, I may have to just. All right, we'll just go down the line here. So we've got Judith and then Jules and then Kathy. And so what I'll do is I'll ask you to unmute and then I'll spotlight you and we can take a look. Here we go, Judith.
I am. Okay. So this was interesting. Unfortunately, I felt like there were so many losses who could choose, but anyway, not to be grim. Um, I'll go with the top one. My granddaughter, who's now 25 and a mother herself, when she was 10 years old, gave me a stone that looked exactly like a yin yang sign. It was an actual stone that she found. And I kept it as my lucky thing. And I even took it to Italy to a show and presented it. And then I lost it while I was traveling this summer. So I just really bereft and horrible. And then one day when I was walking out on the street where I live, there was this turquoise scarab that they don't exist here. That's not where they are. It was a real thing. You see what I'm saying? Like there's no reason for it to be here. It was a gift. And I felt like this wonderful thing that I had that I loved and I was kind of attached to in a superstitious way got replaced by a whole other thing that I can't explain. So that was good. Taking away one of the pieces was very hard. I found it difficult. Anyway, so that's it.
I love the way you drew that. I love how simple it is, and I love the story. I feel like you captured it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Judith. Yeah, and please share that. Everybody, you can also share and we get a longer look if you share in social media or in the network or something.
Yeah, okay.
We'll go to Jules next.
Wow. Okay. So let me see if you can see. So I did mine in colored pencil. I'm not, is it showing up? Okay, cool. So for I did the thing of I cut out a panel and then changed it and put it back. But anyway, I moved recently, so the first panel was saying goodbye to a friend at their job where they were a bartender, and from before I moved. And then the second panel was saying hello in sort of like that friend. I had learned of a musician who has this song that's called If I Were a Bottle, that I like started listening to that song on repeat. So this like the way this I used the lyrics from the song as a uh, thanks, Tiffany. I used the lyrics from the song as the like text for the comic. So it's some friends and I were talking about the things we'd like to be. I couldn't hide the teardrop when someone asked me. So like that's me listening to the song. Um, when they heard me answer, would they understand? And then that hello was I went to a coffee shop today and I had this very long and complicated conversation with a man who had like it was like literally his wife's funeral today. And it was like this really good and meaningful conversation. And then when he was saying goodbye to me, he like went in and kissed me on the cheek, and it was like the most kind of like he was trying to be nice, but it was like made the whole situation feel very awkward. Um, and then um, and then the last panel is I wish to be the bottle you're holding in your hand. And the me meeting this person earlier today, like before we had the conversation, he asked me about the book that I was reading. So it was like the handing off of the book, and the um, that was the panel that I changed. I kept the text from it, which is like the text from the song, but I changed the image so that it's like instead of showing like the whole figures, like showing just the holding, like the handing off of the book, which is like, the like bottle you're holding in your hand in this case. So yeah.
Wow. That was really pretty.
I love I love the way you use the lyrics from the song to tie both pairs together, like the goodbye from the past and the goodbye and hello from the past to the more recent goodbye and hello. I like how you tied it all together with the song. That was really clever. Like I did mine on the fly, and I actually didn't like yours was so well conceived. Anyway, and
Oh, thank you.
the colors are really beautiful. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, colored pencils are great. They're awesome.
Yeah, totally. Thank you for sharing.
Thanks,
Thank you so much.
Jules. We'll go to Kathy next, then Jackie, then Lance, then Jessica. Here we go.
I'm not all tied together, so now I don't want to show. Um, but anyways, so a goodbye has been on my mind lately. In 2003, I said goodbye to all my reproductive organs because of ovarian cancer surgery. And the anniversary is Christmas this year, so it's just in my head. And then, so no children equals George. And we just passed recently. So I was like, is she the goodbye or the hello? I don't know. But I cut out new eyes and did some white out and stuff because her eyes were like, it didn't work for me. And then this week's goodbye, I was just in Montreal where, I didn't meet a pastry or croissant I did not like. And then came home to Maine where I met a lot of vegetables I didn't like. But that was the hello that needed to offset the Montreal trip. So somehow they all work together, but
I love the simple elegance of your drawing style and the way that your squares are not actual squares. They're squares, but they're loose. And I love loose squares. Yeah. thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, and
Thanks,
thank
Kat.
you for sharing.
Thank you. Jackie next.
Okay. So I'm trying to do this with that. You can still hear me. This is me, my goodbye, saying goodbye to my old cat Lucy, and the vet's trying to comfort me. No, and then a year later, it's our other cat, Monkey, the cat we have now. So they always have a home here. And then this week it's my daughter who has autism, is not like super verbal or super regulated. She was her running, every morning I have to remind her, like, don't run to the bus, and she runs the bus every morning, even though I tell her not to, and the bus aide is like, don't run to the bus. She runs the bus. And then this is her coming home. I'm always like, hi, hi, hi. And then I badger her until she says hello back. So that, yeah, goodbyes and hellos. Yeah, she does like school. I'm really, she's 19. I'm really gonna be I'm really trying to do some fancy footwork to find something that she likes to like as much after school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great, Jackie.
Thank you.
Expression.
Thank
we'll
you
go
so
to Lance.
much.
Okay, here's Lance.
Hi. So my goodbye. I've been thinking about haircuts because I got a haircut recently. But also, so my transition began with a haircut 2.5 years ago, and I had really long hair and I got it all cut off. And shortly after that, I met my current partner, who makes me really happy. And this week I got another haircut and got my hair even shorter than in this panel. Before, though, I had a different goodbye. I also switched to the full dose of testosterone instead of low dose, but I felt like this one tied together better with the goodbye this week. So, and then I started going to the gym recently. I realized that it's all backwards, so you can't read it.
Oh.
It's not backwards.
Oh,
It's
it isn't?
perfect,
Okay,
yeah.
it's backwards to me.
Yeah.
But yeah. So anytime I get a haircut, I always feel a lot better about myself. So whether it's something big or something small, so I was just like letting it reflect the thing right before it. I don't know. And I did it in ink, and I also did it in my sketchbook because I didn't think about it. So I cut up a piece of my sketchbook too, but that's okay. That's part of the process.
I love the way you use just like black and white, simple black and white. And there was something else that struck me, but I think like for me, haircuts is such a compelling theme, and it always has been. So you had me with haircuts. Yeah. Thank you for sharing.
Thanks, Lance. But Jessica, then Janice, then Billy, then Eli. Here we go. Jessica.
Hello. So this is what I drew. I took the assignment quite literally in, thinking about saying goodbye to something and then hello to something new. And what I did was one of the things I do is play music, and in the 90s that's how I was making my living. And so it was a pretty significant departure I had from one band in 97, and just like lots of uncertainty, and it was like a logo, like an image that would represent the band, like in cartoon style here. And then one of the instruments I play is sax, and sax is what I did in this band. And so then it kind of like, then there was like this break, and then I continued being able to play in a different band, and it was like one door closing and another door opening. And it was like this huge, I didn't know it then, but when I got here, it was like this amazing growth and more happiness. And it was such a wonderful thing that this ended and that then this one began. And I had no idea in this time here what was going on. And then this is more current. So my life now, saying goodbye. I love growing food. I am a completely obsessive, like urban farmer kind of person. Another one of the things that I love doing. And so saying goodbye to all of my warm weather crops, my tomato plants, just saying goodbye to them because they are all now wilty and becoming mulch in the compost pile. And then as I'm doing that composting, then I'm saying hello to the beautiful sandhill cranes migrating in the cooler weather. And that brings me joy. Whereas, this is kind of sad, even though it's a cycle of life. It's something that I'm used to every growing season, saying goodbye. It's kind of like, okay, end of chapter. And then, again, that like uncertainty in the middle. And then, oh, here comes the joy from that saying goodbye and that sadness. So, and then of course, all of the leaves and will compost into new fertile, natural fertilizer for the next cyclical growing season. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Can you hold that back up, please? I like the way that you use the saxophone to transition from one into another, and your use of color really makes it clear. And I love the way that you talked about the gutter, that space in between the panels, how that is also like we often see gutters in comics, but that also represents this period where you didn't know where things were going to go. And it's this sort of like very unclear period. And you did a great job. I love it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jessica. We'll go to Janice next.
Hi. Well, mine's pretty simple. Past goodbye was basically saying goodbye to my guinea pig, when I had to put her down. And that was years and years and years ago. But right after that, my dog would greet me at the door. They can sometimes sense, that things have gone wrong. And of course, they she recognized the pig wasn't there anymore. Mm-hmm. And more recently, I usually just say goodbye to the mailman when they're dropping things off. Because, they drop things off a lot at my house, it seems. And my neighbor was on vacation and she was gone. So I picked up packages for her and welcomed her home. That was nice. She got out. And then this is my edit of the first one. Basically just a different viewpoint of it, that I remember, being closer to the pig when it was going and showing more of the vet and trying to comfort. So that was it. Very simple.
Thanks, Janice. Really nice.
Yeah, really
Thank
nice.
you.
Thank you. I love the way that your panels aren't squares. They're obviously panels, but you use like triangle and diagonal lines and stuff, and it gives a nice flow to the storytelling. Yeah.
Okay,
Thanks. We'll go to Billy next, and then Eli and Jackie. Here we go.
Hi, Billy.
I'm only sharing this because you're a facilitator. Normally pretty shy. So your exercise is very timely. This morning I have come to a lot of realizations about goodbyes I have to make with family members. And so what I did, I guess this is my recent goodbye. Let's see. So the first panel originally was like holding a photo of smiling faces. And then I was like, oh, well, I hate this. So I just cut it up and it's still pretty messy. But when I look at it, I think of like when someone gets pissed and they rip a photo up. And it's a messy situation. So it being a messy drawing works. And then like the hello that I again realized earlier today was just like I'm building new relationships in the new place that I've lived for like 2 years and starting to find people that I think will be my people out here. So that's my drawings.
I love the way you cut up that photo. I love it. There's like so much emotion in it. Like it says so much and there's no words. I love it, you know.
You almost feel
I
the
tried
snippets.
to write like just little words more as like guidelines for myself of what I was trying to draw, but then I mean, as you can see where it's like scratched out, it's like I don't even know how to put it into words, so I just nixed it. Am I supposed to show the other one too?
You show whatever you want. That was a great share.
I think you'll
People
appreciate
comment
this.
really, Billy, you should read the comments after. I think
Oh,
people are commenting a ton on other people's stuff. So anyway,
okay,
check it
I
out
will.
after. Yeah.
Thank you. The other one was just that I said goodbye to hearing in my right ear about 6 years ago last week. And one of the hellos is that I can block out almost all sound when I go to sleep.
Wow.
So if I sleep on my hearing ear, I can sleep through barking dogs, fire alarms. It's not always good, but it's kind of nice.
Not to brag or anything.
Not to brag, but I can legitimately tune you out.
Thanks, Billy. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go to Eli next, and then Jackie, Ariel, Jen. There we go.
Hey, I think that's how my dad got through raising 4 kids, is he would plug his ear. He was deaf in this ear. It seemed like a benefit. Mine is about I went to get a dog at the SPCA and had decided on this one dog, and we went back to adopt it, and he was walking out the door with somebody else, and it was heartbreaking. And so I asked the SPCA person if I could say goodbye to this dog, even though I really didn't know it. So I like touched his little face, and I was like, goodbye. I just couldn't conceive that it wasn't ours, that we weren't bringing it home. It just seemed impossible. And so we started volunteering at the SPCA so we could get first dibs and also just help. Like those dogs need to get walked. And the dog got returned after a month, and so we swooped him up right away, and now he is sleeping down on my couch right this very moment. And related to that, in the disaster and chaos of having a dog, suddenly I lost the key fob to my boyfriend's new car, and it cost $500 to replace this.
Oh,
which should be against the law. And so now I never lose anything, but I lost this freaking fob. And so now I have to say hello to my credibility is completely shot. I am now somebody who loses things that are super valuable and hard to replace. So there we are. That was my week.
I don't know what to say except I love it. Thank you.
That
was the best.
Thanks, Eli. We'll go to Jackie next. Oh my gosh, $500. If Jackie's there, we'll go to Jackie. Okay, here we go.
Oh, sorry, my computer just keeps staying muted. I feel like this pet trend is real popular. We have this awesome dog that I had when I was pregnant, and like she died. She like just looked at us with the most goofiest look and just booked it into the road. And I was like, what? And I was just like, why'd you have to go get smoked? I was like, geez. She's like, I don't know. And then I'm just hugging my daughter, and she says, hi, mama, because that was just such a very shocking goodbye. And I was like, that was it. And we just paid like $500 in vet bills for like Lyme disease and all these other health conditions. And I was like, wow, that was intense. And then I really thought it was cool about cutting the panel out, because on the backside, I'm saying hi, baby. So I'm saying hi to her. But I was like, man, I think it is so much cooler when she tells me hi, because I'm like, it's just like, well, watching her to learn how to speak is like the coolest thing.
Hmm.
And like more recently, just a lot of Instagram wars and just blocking people left and right. And just being so frustrated. It's like, I'm gonna go clean my house real mad. And then I call my twin and just go, hey girl, hey. And it really takes away all of that wildness. Oops. Didn't mean to click share, but yeah, that's it. I don't do a lot of reflection pieces, so that was really nice to just take a moment to reflect and not overthink.
Totally. Thanks for sharing the way you did your edit. That is a really cool like reframe on that panel. You know, I love it. I love how you did it.
Awesome. Thank you, Jackie. Thanks so much. We'll go to Ariel next. I think they're ready. Let's see. There we go.
Hello. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. So, by the way, hi, E.T. Your sister with the bowl cut told me to come to this day, so I figured I would try it out.
You work with Meredith. Okay, yeah.
I love her so, so much. Okay, so I went kind of pretty basic with mine, but like, you know, why is this moving for you too? What is happening?
Yeah, I've seen that before where the camera follows your, yeah. Maybe
I don't ever use Zoom. I was late to the meeting because I couldn't figure out how to use Zoom. Can you see this?
Yeah,
that's fine.
Okay, so the first one was like, you know, goodbye to being or goodbye to the girl who thought marriage was forever, you know, and then saying hello to who the woman I became, you know. It was just like, it was actually one of the most heartbreaking moments of my life, but genuinely the best thing that ever happened to me. And then the more recent one was actually right before this call. I was partially late because I was bleaching my hair. So I was goodbye to my dark roots. And then this is the one that I redid, but it was, you know, new hair, who dis? And the original one was just like a little bit more flat. And I kind of feel like, oh, whoops, redoing it, fixed it. Although I had a smudge and I fixed it with another Post-it note, and then that just fell off right now. So yeah, this is like Lance's apparently, except in reverse, because I tend to go kind of between androgynous and very effeminate. And I feel like whenever I redo my hair, it's like more of me like regaining being more in my feminine energy again. So anyway, that's me.
Aw. I love how, I don't know why I love how your edit's like a flip up.
Oh yeah, this little thing.
Yeah. I love like when people, instead of drawing face on, they do like a 3/4 pose or a two, I don't know what you call that, but just like drawing a face from a different angle. It just adds 3-dimensionality. And yeah, I love it. Thank you.
I feel like I'm getting motion sickness from my camera. I'm so sorry.
The chat says it's what iPads do. I don't know if that's what you're on. Thanks so much. That was awesome. We'll go to Jen next, and then
Can I go after the next person because
sure.
I put a bite of something in my mouth and I don't want to spit it out.
Sure, we'll go to Rachel next.
Thank you.
Hi. So this was really fun. I had to say goodbye to my teaching career. So this is an empty classroom and it says goodbye, Miss Kurtz. But I actually said goodbye to it without saying goodbye to my students. So all of them are empty desks. The whole classroom is empty. And then the next thing I did was health coaching. And that was the panel I changed because I didn't have me in it. So I put myself in it. And then related, then I got my master's in nutrition. And I just recently decided to get rid of all of my nutrition books because decided not to do that. And it made room for all my cartooning books, which is what I'm just starting to learn how to do.
We approve of that here.
I love it. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Rachel. That's great.
Thanks.
And again, a good reminder to everybody to share these on social media or wherever, and we can see these for longer. Michael's next. I've already spotlighted you without saying.
Oh, okay. Well, big shocker to anybody who knows me.
Yeah.
I did goodbye to my dog.
Hmm.
And then hello to making a comic about losing my dog. I redrew this one. My first impulse was just flushing a toilet out of panic, so this kind of fit it better. Goodbye to another bad day. Hello, food. kind of random, but
No, it's great. It's really great. I love the emotion. You have the emotion and the facial expressions that you were able to capture in this short workshop. The facial expressions really speak volumes.
That's awesome, Michael. Thanks. And a reminder again to share on social media. I got to find Jen again because, oh, there. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go back to Jen now. Wait, I also have to ask you to unmute. How do I do that? Give me a second. Wait, Gewalt. Hold on, Jen. Sorry. When your hand was up, it was easier. There we go. You should be able to unmute now.
Okay, I'm unmuted. Okay, so as so many people in this place have, in 2013, I said goodbye to my cat. There's been a lot of stories of cat loss. It was my first cat. She was 21 years old, so we had 21 years together. And then right after that, I went with my sister on her 40th birthday trip to France. And so I saw the Eiffel Tower for the first time. And then recently, I've said goodbye to 20 years of anger at my ex-fiance. And as a result of that, hello to a very peaceful good night's sleep. With 3 cats.
Can you hold that back up again?
Sure.
I really like in the first 2 panels, like it doesn't maybe seem that saying goodbye to your cat and then like going to Paris seem connected, if you looked at them individually, but it's like because they happened at the same time in your life, that connection holds meaning for you. And I think that's so interesting, the way we make memories and connect things. So I just wanted to share that because I think about things like that a lot. So that's one of many things I appreciated about your comic.
Thank you very much. I
Yeah,
appreciate
so
that.
nice. I love that last panel. We have 3 more, Marlene, Edgar, and Jamie. So here's Marlene.
Yeah, hi, everyone. Can you see this, Tom?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I taught typewriting in the 70s. And so I said goodbye to my faithful Olivetti typewriter. It went clickety-clack, and I wrote a little poem there. Clickety-clackety, the keys rattle and roll, a collector's item and a relic. You helped me write documents legibly. At first, the keys clacked. As I fingered the keys, IBM then produced a golf ball model. So that's the first part. Can you still see this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and then in the 80s, I said hello to the Xerox Alto Macintosh computer. And so the little poem that goes with that one is 1980s, hello computer world, compliments to the mathematicians and scientists. I could now do arithmetic on the computer. It weighs a ton though. Floppy disk. Oh, welcome. Help me transfer data.
Wow. Oops, Marlene got muted again. Hang on, Marlene, I have to ask you to unmute again. Hold on. I don't know how you got muted.
I think I'll just say I appreciate writing about like saying hello and goodbye to different technologies. And I love that you wrote a little poem about your typewriter.
Oh.
Thank you. I learned how to type on a typewriter when I was growing up. We didn't have a computer yet. So yeah.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Marlene.
Thank you. Thanks for today.
Okay, we'll go to Edgar next. I think, let's see. Here we go. Oh, can we hear you, Edgar? Edgar, I can't hear you either. So let me get you unmuted. Can you do that?
Can you hear me? It
Yeah.
says, okay, good. I came up with some ideas, and the title is "I Don't Know Why You Say Goodbye, I Say Hello." And then we start out with 4-year-old Edgar the third says goodbye to his unconscious grandmother Gigi, being taken from her home to the hospital. And I really wasn't aware of what was going on, but I said, goodbye, Gigi. But then 2 years later, 6-year-old Edgar the third says hello to Petey and Eddie on our street. Hi, welcome to the neighborhood. And Petey says, hi, Edgar. And Eddie says, yeah, hi. Well, anyway, so then we move to 69-year-old Edgar says goodbye to a special place on the Shenandoah River. Farewell, Mandalay, where dreams came true. And so then I changed the last panel I drew, and I put another panel over it. And so now the Moon Boy calls his Moon Princess on WhatsApp and says, hello, Moon Princess. I miss you very much. When will you return to me? So those are my hello and goodbyes.
I love the way you referred to yourself. It's not the year, it was the age you were when things happened.
Oh yes, that is. Yeah, I'm thinking about how little I was, and the age I think is more important than the year.
Yeah,
but I appreciate that, noticing that.
Yes, it's so interesting, and it's really a strong, simple way of telling it from a personal point of view.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Awesome, Edgar. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, you bet. We're going to go to Mishka. Then Judith has one more thing to share, and then we'll finish up with Jamie. Here we go.
I don't know if it's going to work. So this is saying goodbye to my dad in 1990 when I was 17. I grew up on the other side of the world from my cousins, aunts, and uncles. The wall fell, and then my dad said, Nazdar, Mishko, which kind of means to your success. I said, bye, Daddy. And then I'm looking out the window. There are icebergs out there. And it was my first time to Europe and kind of my first solo flight, like over a couple of hours. But I don't remember being afraid. And then I land in Munich and I meet these two people for the very first time. It was my aunt, my mom's sister, and my uncle Yinshi. And it was crazy because she looked so much like my mom. And I also looked like my mom when my mom left in 1969. And that summer was one of the best of my life. And then, sorry, I kept going, but it's not really finished. And it doesn't, so like then when I was twice that old, my dad died of a glioblastoma. It was brutal. But my aunt said, we've always thought of you as our third daughter when I was back in Prague again. And I had some problems. I had to use pencil. Most people know I usually use my iPad. I was trying to erase.
Wow, that's a big
I was trying to erase his face, but he was just kind of always reading on the couch. And she's like being really emotive and saying, you're like our third daughter. Also, your uncle never takes off that sweatshirt you gave to him 15 years ago. Can you please get him a new one? And then just this summer, 17 years-ish later, my cousin told me my dad's really sick. This may be the last time you see them. And I'm like, no, I'm running out of dads.
Wow.
So he did die. But there's more to tell in this story.
There's always more stories with Mishka. Mishka, we need a book.
Yeah, that was great. I'm on the edge of my seat to know what happens next, but that was beautifully told. Thank you.
I'll quickly tell you that our last conversation was about a mysterious box in his room. And I said, Uncle, what is this? And he's like, I don't know. And it had these beautiful Soviet graphics on it, Soviet era graphics. And we turned it over like, we better open it up. And we opened it up. It was a pencil sharpener.
Wow.
Well, you got to post that too. Mishka.
I ran out of time.
All right, we're gonna go
Thank you.
to Judith and then to Jamie. Then
Okay, ET had said that we should only do the first half and everyone did the whole thing, so I'm going to show the second thing. I had a deadline on a grant proposal that I had been thinking about for months. And the deadline was November 15th, and I really thought about it. And there's a lot going on, including a war where I live. I got very distracted and I couldn't concentrate. And I had to say, I'm not going to do it. This really feels bad. I don't know if any of you have ever committed to doing something and then you don't do it. I felt so ashamed and bad, and I should do it. And then, because I didn't have the tension of having to do the grant proposal, I ended up sleeping and reading books and just relaxing in a way that I think I haven't done in years. So that was kind of cool. Like I gave up on this, what is it called? Like a vow that wasn't really good. And I ended up with free time, which is unheard of, really. And anybody who knows me, I'm usually up at night. I never sleep, and I got to sleep. So the thing about this picture, though, is that I felt like it made me look like I had not a care in the world. And it's kind of an idealized view, but I would like to be that way more. I think one of the things I'm feeling very much like people are sharing all this stuff that's so incredibly dense information and a lot of plot in these just few little images. It's really impressive. And it's both what we want and what we want it to be like and what it's like, and that they're kind of coming together. Anyway, thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, nice, Judith.
Thank you. I love the contrast between those two. It's awesome.
Getting some commiseration in the chat from one grant.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Right, Jamie, can you get on to camera? We'll finish up with Jamie. Oops, asked to unmute. There we go.
Wait, no, oh, come on.
We can hear you. We can see
Get
you.
better, Tom. A little bit better. All right, I didn't have time to ink it because I came in late, but better late than never, right? Okay, so I got really sick and I had to take big medicine, and so I said goodbye to alcohol. And then it says, for now, forever, who knows? And it says, hello. Oh, hello. It's hello to the ability to ride to the top of the hill without getting off the bike. That was a new one. That's been like a year at least. And I was like, holy shit. So now when I'm riding on the sidewalk and people are there, I'm like, please, stroller, please, old guy, get out of the way. I don't want to get off this thing. So I know it's illegal, but nobody made a citizen's arrest. Anyway, it was exciting to me. Then goodbye. 12 pounds. My scale says 12 pounds. The doctor says 9. Screw that doctor's scale. I think it's adding 3 pounds just to mess with me. But yes, I'm feeling later. So that was like feathers. And I'm all surprised. And then hello. It's so stupid. It's all about me, whatever. The thinner face in the mirror. And it says, that's the former fat face. It's still fat. Look, hello, come on. Who am I kidding? But in the mirror. And then I remember that old joke. And now it says less chins than a Chinese phone book. Stupid. Anyway, that's my comment.
Jamie. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
I love the hill drawing.
Oh yeah, my mountain. I put snow on the top. Like I went that high, Tom. Yeah.
Don't you live in Manhattan?
Yeah, there's no snow anywhere. Not yet, although they said a big bad winter's coming and I'm looking for a winter coat.
There either.
Huh?
There's no hills there either.
Yes, there are. There's a couple that are like San Francisco, dude. Those are the ones that I'm trying to get up. Okay. So it was an achievement. I swear to God.
Okay. We're rooting for you.
Thank you.
Sure.
It was fun.
Okay. I'm going to spotlight. Oh, I said it. I did it before I said it. I'm going to spotlight ET again. ET, thank you. What a nice, gentle sort of way to think about events, really, and memory. And to sort of like plug it in that way.
Thank you. Yeah, this was awesome for me, seeing how different people did different techniques to like bridge between panels and stuff, or just storytelling. I don't know, to me, this was very fulfilling and feels very alive. So I feel honored and thank you so much, all of you.
Yeah, awesome. I'm going to have everybody off mute and give you a round of applause. And you gave us two little treats. You gave us that and the comic surgery, which somehow seemed really kind of radical. It's like, oh, we get to change a panel. All right, everybody. It's been another great Friday night workshop. I really appreciate it. Come off mute and let's give ET a round of applause. ET's books and website is in the chat. I'm going to do it. Are they able to unmute?
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was great.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're awesome.
Yes,
Totally
thank
great
you. Thank
workshop.
you.
Bye, everybody.